What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video from the 10-7 MMA channel. And this video is about this up-and-coming fight that I cannot wait for. Dricus Du Plessis takes on Khamzat for the belt at the middleweight division for the title. Everything is on the line, and as I've mentioned many times, I mean, there's no fight to me that's more exciting than this fight. We have Dricus Du Plessis, who's undefeated in the UFC, Khamzat, who's undefeated overall. The two are finally going to clash. If you look at what DDP has done thus far in the UFC, the champions he's been able to beat: Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland. Granted, he was a short champion, but still, he was a champion nonetheless. He beat him. He took it, beat him twice. DDP has done things that people thought were impossible, especially early on. And I think that's what's so fascinating about him is people looked at him and they legit thought he was terrible, not just okay or good, but not good enough to get the belt. I mean, people literally thought he was terrible. I don't know. Sometimes Darren Till says it. I think he says it in jest. A lot of times he's like, yeah, his striking is crap or whatever. But obviously he lost to DDP, right? But this is part of that story of this fight that's so amazing. Obviously, I'm really, I've done a ton of content on Khamzat as he's my favorite fighter. And I think he's so interesting to see both of these guys now go head to head where there's so much hype behind both of them. I just cannot tell you how excited I am for this fight. And I cannot wait to see what goes down. But I wanted to highlight a couple things that were talked about in a recent interview on Ariel Helwani's show that DDP mentioned that I think if we hone in on these few different points, you can get even more excited for what's about to go down in, what is it now, 7, 8, 9 days? Holy smokes, we're 9 days away from UFC 319. So again, I'm beyond excited, and I wanted to shine a light on these 3 different clips telling some of the story of DDP, and also once again getting you guys excited for this clash. People are saying the immovable force, or what is it? The unstoppable force against the immovable object, something like that, right? So one of the things to look out for in these different clips that I've assembled is the mindset of Dricus Du Plessis. And I think that's one of the things that he gets a lot of credit for is he's just tough as nails. He will not go away. He just refuses to basically give in to whatever's happening to him. So anyways, let's start off at the bat. One of the things that one of the things that people always talk about is his style, it being awkward, it being weird. I've made other videos about this, but this is again just to reemphasize the fact that Dricus and his team say that his style, how awkward it looks, how bizarre it seems to people who have trained striking or trained MMA or whatnot, it's on purpose. So I'm going to let him explain this in his own words.
Because I've proven that, say what you will, I'm winning. And my style has proven to be effective. Not for everyone. Yes, controversial. Yes, it is awkward, but that's on purpose, and that's why I am the champion of the world. So, yeah, I am the underdog, but when it comes to respect, I only care about the respect of a very small group of people. That's my country, my family, my team, and the people that believe in me. Those who don't believe in me, do it at your own peril. I don't really care. It's I've walked into many stadiums with boos and I've walked out with cheers. So that will happen once again.
You mentioned the awkwardness on purpose. That's really interesting because I don't know if people give you that credit. I think they just say you're awkward, period. But that's something you do on purpose?
100%. It's awkward to the people because it's something that they've never seen. So anything that somebody does that's different is going to be awkward because how do you defend that? When I say it is on purpose, I do things in a way that me and my coaches have been training for 12 years because we look at fights and we think this is the way they do it. I think this is a better way to do it. Let's try it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's about doing something. If you just throw your strikes like everybody else, you're going to find a striker that's going to be able to figure that out. And they've seen it a million times in their gyms, in fights, and that is why it is not really awkward. It's just different. But I mean, we as humans are very suspect of new things. We don't like change that much. So, I mean, and once again, I said it a couple of years ago. People were only critiquing my style, and they always have been. But while they are critiquing, they should be taking notes because they are going to fall behind, and then they're going to play catch up.
Okay, so I want to say a couple of things about this because I think this is really interesting, and I highlighted this the last time he talked about his style being on purpose. So I think you have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt. And I'm actually saying this without hearing him or his coach actually say this, but this is more from Justin, my co-host on the channel, who has fought in the UFC. He trains at Extreme Couture. One of the things he said, and he made a whole breakdown video about DDP style, which you guys should definitely check out. Initially, what his take on DDP striking was that it was not optimal, in the sense that, like, there's certain ways that you should shift your body weight or position your arm or rotate your hips or whatever, right, in the sequence of throwing a strike to maximize power. It's like it's a bit of geometry. You want to, you know, have connection occurring when your arm is outstretched, so that, for example, like the brunt of the force is absorbed by your bones, not by a tendon or whatever, right? So there's different overarching principles that are kind of universal when it comes to maximizing power. So what Justin's initial take was, he's just not doing things in a way that maximize power. That may or may not be true, right? There can be variation from body type to body type, but let's say that it is indeed not maximizing for power, right? What I think may have happened is like this, right? It's art. Martial arts, they call it art for a reason. Everybody has an individual expression. You're not going to be able to throw strikes that look exactly like Edson Barbosa or some of these other fighters. So I think what's really happening is they're looking at the way that Dricus's body moves and some of his natural tendencies, and instead of trying to change them to be more formulaic, to be more similar to how other people fight in order of maximizing power in specific cases. Again, this is just a theory, but they're like, no, you know what? Your body naturally moves this way. Instead of trying to change it, let's lean into it, and let's see if we can build a style around your natural tendencies. This is what I think happens. So there are even some cases where Justin's talking about the blitz that Dricus does, right? Where you're literally running at somebody throwing strikes. That may not be optimal for power, as opposed to like shuffling your feet together and having more rotation in your shots, but it's different. And so again, that's going to catch people off guard. And with these differences, I think that's what's giving Dricus an advantage. So I don't think it's like they sat down and said, let's concoct all these unique ways to attack people. I think it's built around, if you want to call it awkwardness, or built around his natural tendencies. And then they've just built upon that. And maybe somewhat by experimentation, they found like, holy smokes, because the style that we've developed together is so unique, people are really caught off guard, and it's playing to his benefit. It's very, 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 very interesting. This is one of the things I love about mixed martial arts, is from the beginning, it was a bit of an experiment of which one of these martial arts actually work in a real fight scenario. And this seems to be the continuance of this idea. And so that now the sport is evolving in real time to this style that no longer looks like what it looked like before, right? It's evolving into something brand new, and it seems to be effective. So very, very interesting, like a big science experiment. Okay.
Because I've proven
the next clip that I want to show you guys, again, just to get you guys hyped up, just listen to the things that Dricus says. And what I want you to take away from this is listen to his confidence. You got to remember that when Khamzat ran through Robert Whittaker in the last October, whatever, DDP, to his credit, immediately said that's who he wanted to fight. He didn't say he wanted to fight Strickland. And I think by all accounts, Strickland was probably an easier fight for DDP. He didn't say that. He said, I want Khamzat. That's exciting. He just had a amazing victory. I want to fight him. And this is all part of the Dricus equation, right? He seems to just be rock solid mentally. He's got a very interesting skill set. Everybody doubted him, and he seemed to have proven everybody wrong thus far. So it's that mentality that I think makes him exciting. He just seems so authentically confident when he talks. And listen to him talk in this clip, and I think it's going to get you even more excited to see these two face off.
I am going out there and I'm going to shock the world once again, like every other time. And everybody said it's impossible. Not this guy, not this guy. And I'm going to go out there, and you're going to see the boogeyman. You're going to see him break. You're going to see him break in there. And then realize there's only one boogeyman, and that's me.
It's too good. All right, last clip. This is a great one. Okay. And I believe him. That's the key, right? You're going to see that he's going to say, right, we talk about teammates not wanting to fight each other, which I have no problem with. Friends or people that train together and are close with each other, they don't want to fight each other. They don't want to harm each other. They don't want to live with that after the fact. So I'm not beating up on fighters like Aljamain Sterling and Merab or whatever who refuse to fight each other. I actually totally understand that. But you can just see it's a different type, or you could say Bilal and what's it called, Mahashev. But you can see he's just got a different mentality, and it all goes back to the same idea that he's just got some crazy killer instinct inside of him. He's willing to fight anybody, even his brother. And I don't know what to say. If that doesn't get you excited for this scrap, I don't know what will.
I think that if Kyle Barrow beats Imamov, they are going to make him and Renita fight for #1 contender.
Given that relationship,
If Imamov beats Kyle, they're going to give him the title shot because it's time.
okay. Given that relationship and that history, would you have any issues fighting RDR if you had to?
No, not at all.
Okay, okay.
I would fight my brother for my title if I have to.
So this
And I
thing-
would try to kill him, I promise you that. And he's my best friend.
So the whole teammate thing, all that doesn't work in your
No.
world.
No, it's when we get in there are no friends. There are no relationships in a fight.
I feel like probably Khamzat feels the same way. You can't beat this fight. You can't beat this fight. Anybody else saying that there's more exciting fights or more exciting matchups this year, I don't know what you're talking about. This is so good. It's so good. You know, I get that Ilya versus versus Islam is a crazy fight, and especially let's say after they both achieve double champ status. Sure, I'm just talking like if you remove the accolades, skill for skill, this is just such a bizarre and interesting matchup with somebody coming up and just smashing everybody who people thought was terrible, and then you have on the other side Khamzat Chimaev, who's been doing all these crazy things, people wanting him to get a title shot maybe even back in 2021, and now they're finally meeting. There's just, I don't know, there's just nothing better, nothing bigger in my opinion with this fight. I cannot wait to see it go down. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, let me know, who are you picking in this matchup? It seems kind of 50-50 when I listen to fighters, when I listen to people that are in the know, that have like that good technical expertise, or even fans that really are dialed into the sport. It does seem split down the middle, which again just adds to how fascinating and interesting this fight is. So we shall see what goes down. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.